Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Scarbo here. Just sitting here doing some work at my little desk here in my room. And I thought I'd pull some cards on what's going on in the Ukraine. Now it is 4:20. Well, I'll do this. It's 4:20. And so I haven't watched the news. I watched it this morning. I haven't watched it since. I don't know if anything is going on different than what was going on yesterday. But I did pick three cards for well, Zelensky, three cards for Putin, and three cards for Joe Biden. And I'm going to share the ones that I did with you, and then we can pull more cards, maybe ask more questions. Um, so the first three cards I picked were for Zelensky. He went to, I think it was Berlin. He spoke. He spoke from his heart, very emotional. He was, I think, trying to be reassuring to his people, um, and yet sort of standing strong, perhaps terrified. I mean, certainly I would be. And so I picked three cards on him, and these are the cards I got. Now, I got the High Priestess, the Hermit, and the Nine of Wands. And so I feel like there are secrets that he has and wisdom that he has, um, and a willingness to stand up, even though he's wounded. Um, his country is wounded. It was part of the Crimean Peninsula was taken over back in, was that 2014, and that part of the Ukraine has been at war since that time. It hasn't really stopped. So he knows what it's like to live with, um, Big Brother Russia next door. Um, in fact, he graduated, he became president. It was right after that, or maybe that's when he started his show, because he was an actor. He was a lawyer, and then an actor, a writer, a comedian, um, and now the president. There's a few comedians that I personally wouldn't mind having to be president of the United States. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing because most comedians are pretty damn smart. Um, you have to be really smart to make people laugh. So I feel like we're dealing with, despite his age, because he's relatively young, born in 1978, we have some wisdom there, and I think it's wisdom from having lived in the situation. He actually lived in southeastern Ukraine. That's where he grew up, I think, and I believe that's part of the territory that's, I guess, under the most stress already. I could be wrong about that, but I believe that's true. So we have somebody here with quite a bit of wisdom, and he stands alone. He sort of stands alone, and it's interesting that he's in this situation again. He was certainly in the situation with Trump asking him to just say something. You just have to say it, and he wouldn't say it. And of course, the whole Ivanovich thing. So there's connections here with this to the former president and all of that. So there's some things here that, even, I mean, these are Zelensky's cards. I'm not saying he knows all of that, but he may know some things that we don't know. Um, then I picked three cards for Putin, and the three cards that I picked on Putin were the Two of Cups, um, the Prince of Swords, and the Four of Swords. And so if we talk about the past, present, and future, right? If we're looking at Zelensky, this is the past, secrets, knowings, the present, standing alone, looking over his country, wondering, and the future, resilience and boundaries. So he's not going to stand down. He won't stand down. That's not the energy that he has. For Putin, the past is one of relationship. So this could be the relationship that the Ukraine had with Russia before the end of, before the dissolution of the USSR. There could be a in the past, like there being a yeah, I guess it probably has more to do with the past of the history of that area. The present moment, we have the Prince of Swords. So we have somebody pointing a sword. Now, if this card is often, impulsive action, but he's drawing back. He's ready to fight if he has to. But then the future, we get the Four of Swords, which is rest from the battle. So I'm not sure that Putin wants to go to battle. I think that what Putin may really want, or the people behind him, I'm not sure it's this ego thing that everybody's talking about, but it may be that he wants, Russia has a lot of resources, but there's like the sanctions or something prevent them from getting the resources from the earth. So there's that. And I think that maybe he's reminding us or the world that he has nuclear capabilities, he has an army, he can do stuff, and they have to come to the table and figure out a way. Now, whether it's for his own personal enrichment, that's possible, but it could also be to help his people. Although, because of what he's done to Navalny and because of the kind of things that he's done or purported to do, that, perhaps it is for personal enrichment. But, he's in his 70s now, or he's going to be 70. And, rich is rich, but, if your people, like, what do you want your legacy to be? It could very well be some sort of legacy thing with him. So then I picked 3 cards on Joe Biden in this situation, and I got the Prince of Wands, but it was reversed. So I feel like this is the past. There was just the Prince of Wands is often like impulsive, but not in the way of the Prince of Swords. More inspired, and has to believe in what he does, and it's like traveling. And it was upside down, right? So I feel like there's resistance to that, to moving forward on something. In the immediate position, we have the Six of Wands. We have an army. I guess we have soldiers in Poland now, and we have a very very powerful military, and so we could be standing up. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're fighting at the moment, but then in the future we have the Ten of Wands. So and you know what, I'll pick 3 cards on China and see where China falls in all of this. I feel like this is something that the United States doesn't necessarily want to really have to get involved in, because I don't think it will play well at home. Unless, one of the old tropes is to start a war like Reagan did with Grenada after we lost all the Marines in Beirut that time. But I'm not sure that that's what people want. A war is a war outside of the world, outside of a country that's at war with itself. Our country is at war with itself. Our country is tired and exhausted and sick of the burden and sick of nobody helping them. So, I don't think that my country, the United States, would be too thrilled about getting involved in a skirmish in that part of the world. And it's very possible that that's what Putin is doing. He's testing the resolve of the American people. Will they back their leader if they decide to, get involved in this in a bigger way than they're already involved? So this is Ping past the Ace of Wands. So this is for China. So in the past, we have new ideas, new creativity, and the present, the Five of Pentacles. So this is not that great of, they're not in a good position. They're not in a good position for some reason. I've always thought that because they have so many people, that the climate change stuff is going to be a little bit harder on them than, say, in America, or I don't know about Russia, because you don't know anything about Russia, right? Or in Europe, or the like. I just feel like I don't know. They're not in a good position financially, and I don't know why that is, because I don't know enough about China. That's why. And we have death in the future. So I don't think China. I think China has its own problems. I don't think that this is something that I don't think this is something that they're just sort of watching. They sort of have what is that expression, a horse in the game, or a skin in the game. I think they have a little skin in the game, but I think they're just sitting back and saying, let's see what these crazy European American people are doing. I don't know. So so that's what I say. So let's see, is there anything else I want to ask about? I think I want to do Zelensky. Intrigues me. Let me do a quick read on him specifically. Let's see here if I can find a deck I'm going to use. I'll use this. I'm going to use the Light Seers Tarot. It's interesting how so many actors become politicians. Well, the world is a stage. Okay, so I'm doing a reading on Zelensky. Let's say a look ahead for Zelensky. It's Volodmyr. I did his numbers. I actually did his numerology. It's very interesting. Trying to remember what his shadow was. Did I bring it up? Oh, it's over there. I'll see. I may actually do a whole thing on Zelensky because I find him so intriguing, but not today. It's not happening today. All right, this is Zelensky. Let's see. Okay. Okay, let's see. What do we got here? We have the Ace of Pentacles. So this is his, I did his numerology. This was in his power square. So his power is around what he can offer. He's in a place where he's trying to keep his country alive, really, keep his country growing. His primary concern, and this may also be what Putin is trying to do, is that all of this stress disrupts the markets and then disrupts the Ukraine financially. And maybe in some way they'll have to be more beholding to the oligarchs, because it was a very corrupt country. I think Ukraine is where they kicked the guy out of the presidential palace, and then everybody just looked around. If it was America, they would have kicked him out and taken all the stuff, but they just sort of left it and looked at it. I think that was them. All right, let's see what's crossing him. So he's trying to, we have the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands. Two aces. His challenge is to keep people's spirits up. His primary concern is financial. But his challenge is to keep people inspired. And I feel that's why he went to, I think it was Munich, where. At the root, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So this is somebody who thinks things out, surveying, moves very sort of slowly. He kind of has that energy. He is an Aquarius, actually, and he's got his sun and his Venus, I think, in Aquarius, and I think his moon is in Leo. So I'll do his chart. Thank you. My husband brought me a snack. He tried to put it down quiet, but wasn't a quiet snack. In the past, we have the Six of Pentacles. It was reversed. This, I think, is the holding back of putting the military stuff that they had promised back when Trump was president. And him holding that over him and saying, well, if you say this, you'll get what you've been promised. So I think that's what the Six of Pentacles reverses in the past. In the sky, we have the Fool. This is somebody who is willing to take the leap of faith. The question is, will he be foolish, or is he smarter than all of us? Let's see the immediate future. The Seven of Cups. This is being confused about which one to pick, really. Which one to pick, except none of them are really good. None of them are really good. They're all illusionary to a certain extent. So I think the options that he's being presented are illusionary. And he wants to go talk to Putin, so it'll be interesting to see if he gets to talk to Putin. How it's seen from the outside, the Five of Wands, somewhat chaotic, right? Of course we do. the Ten of Swords in his domestic situation. So it does look like there's going to be some sort of something, some sort of loss, some sort of incursion. Hopes and fears, the Magician. He hopes that he can, by what he does, by maybe his acting as if he's not afraid, will magically, I don't know, take the, well, do what it has to do. The Four of Swords. So this is very stressful for him. I think he's going to retreat and have to recover. I think that this has been really, really difficult on him in some way. Four of Cups, so 2 4s. I'll just pick 3 more to see if I can get a major arcana. 2 of Cups, relationship. And the 3 of Cups reversed. So not, I don't know. It doesn't look really that good for him, at least in the near future. Let's see what's underneath it. The Moon, the 2 of Pentacles, and the 7 of Wands. And then I might as well, the Lovers. So it feels like there is going to be an agreement at some point, but it is not going to be, it's not going to be in the way that he would have hoped it to be. And I think it may cost him, I don't know if it will cost him his presidency, but his, the Ten of Swords in the domestic situation can also mean an old way of doing things. An old story is going and a new dawn is beginning. So it's not as unhopeful as not. I think he's a good man in a very, very difficult situation. And it may be something beyond his control. It may be something that has to sort of work its way out of the system, so to speak. Because these, the energy of the place that's at war, right? Just that energy, that area. I mean, we have reasons now, we see things from our perspective, economically and destabilizing Europe. And I'm sure that nobody wants that. Not even Putin wants that. Sometimes there are forces, though. Sometimes there are forces. Let's see, that man, woman, or, we just don't understand. And not even like, Lizzie, Illuminati. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about spiritual forces, the force of evolution. We always have a choice. We always have a choice about how we're going to move through this. And we'll have to see how we choose. The more awake we are to know that we have options is good. I think the distrust of authority and all of that maybe works in the favor of, not getting involved, but we have our own problems, don't we? All right. So I hope you enjoyed that. Just a little chit chat. People, were asking, so I figured I would put something out, but, I don't know. I like Zelensky. I think Biden is trying to show resolve, but not really have to get involved militarily if he can avoid it. And I think Putin, you know, he's a smart guy, and he knows that at some, you know, everything comes to an end. I was looking at the astrology, and Putin's progressed Mars is conjunct within a degree, I think, of his North Node, which happens to be in Aquarius. And that would bode, you know, Mars, the aggressor, but it is Aquarius. So there's that, or maybe rejoining the group. But Saturn is there. Saturn, transiting Saturn is there. So while his progressed Saturn might be there, transiting Saturn, the Saturn of the time, of the moment, is on that Mars, and that could sort of truncate things for him, prevent, hold back, and it could even, you know, be something as simple or complex, I guess, as a weather event. I mean, there are places on the planet that are getting 8 inches of rain in like a day. If those fields got 8 inches of rain in a day, I don't know how they would, you know, have a war in like this much mud. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see. I think all we can do is, from where we are, is to surround that area and all the people involved, Zelensky, Putin, all the people that live there, just hold them in the light and visualize peace. There's powerful energies afoot, and when you get to see what's happening in March, which I'm preparing for now, so I have some insight. We have some big opportunities for healing in March, and I suggest we take them globally. So we'll see. All right, guys, take care. Much love. Namaste.